So let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, I was speaking about the concept of Islam. So now, today, if like a non-Muslim, if he wants to become a Muslim, then he will put this question and think, oh, what can I do? If I want to become Muslim, which school of thought should I follow? Which sect should I follow? Or is Sunni on the right path? Or the Shias are on the right path? Or Ahmadi or Qadiani are on the right path? Or, people from, that particular sect are. So the people are confused. So my brothers and sisters, first of all, any Muslim, any person who comes to Islam or he is born Muslim, what is your kalima? Your kalima is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. You are not saying La ilaha illallah, so and so is your Rasulullah. You are not saying La ilaha illallah and so is your madhab. Your madhab is Islam. Your religion is Islam. Which means, what is Islam? And how do I know what Islam is, telling me or teaching me? Then you have to go back to the life of Prophet Muhammad, because Prophet, he brought Islam to us. And what did he give to us? He gave us Quran, and he gave us his teaching. And this is what Quran says. Quran says, Ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasulah wa ulil amri minkum. O you who believed, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, Ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasulah wa ulil amri minkum. O you who believed, follow Allah and follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, obey Allah and obey His Messenger, and obey the authorities. Authorities means the scholars. Like if you have, any alim around you and you study from him, that's fine. You can obey him. You can listen to him when he says, do this and don't do that, and he quotes you the Quran and Hadith. But then Allah says, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِ. That if you, when the Shaykh is telling you, teaching you something, and you heard the same explanation given by another Shaykh with some difference of opinion, or you have read some difference of opinion with that particular subject, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that don't make yourself into divisions, don't divide yourself into sects. Just verify that argument of these two people, two different opinions. Check with the Quran and Sunnah. So the criteria is Quran and Sunnah. A said this, check it in the Quran and Sunnah. If it is based on the Quran and Sunnah, tick it and tick right and take it. And B is saying something which is not from Quran and Sunnah, leave it. This is what Quran says, that this is the best way you can ever learn your religion. So I advise the new Muslims as well and the non-Muslims as well that don't look at what Muslims are doing, don't look at what Muslims are saying, look at what Quran says and look at what the ahadith, authentic ahadith of Prophet Muhammad is saying. And see, like if somebody says that 2 plus 2 is 4, and the other person will say 2 plus 2 is 5 or 3. Then go back to the formula. Formula in the maths, you will know it. That when you add certain numbers, this will be the result. And if the result is coming wrong, so leave that formula. Leave that method. Follow the one that gives you the correct result. So this is how our correct result is Quran and Hadith. If the scholars differ, don't worry about that. Take any opinion from the Shaykh. And like for example, this brother, the Muraqabah, ask him, what is there in Muraqabah in Quran and Hadith? How the Muraqabah is done? What is the definition of Muraqabah? Same thing. Like this brother who asked me about the Wali. He should not take my point or my opinion. He should check it. Okay, Sheikh Abdul Majid is saying Wali is must. Then he has to verify it. And I quoted the Hadith. So he should verify the Hadith. But he might be going to another Sheikh and another Sheikh will say, I am Hanafi scholar and I am Mufti of Ahnaf, and according to me, when a woman reaches the age of puberty, she is free to marry and she doesn't have to have a consent of her father or her wali, and she can marry. Okay, that's fine. Abdul Majid said this and the other Sheikh also has said that. So we have got two different opinions. We should be taken. If Abdul Majid gives you the dalil from Quran and Hadith, take Abdul Majid's opinion. If other Shaykh gives you the opinion from the Quran and Hadith, then take his opinion. Like Imam Malik rahmatullah was sitting in his halaqa in Medina, and a man asked him like more or less 34 questions. He answered only few of them, easily countable, like 3 or 4 answers. And one of the occasions he answered the question, and then the man asked him, what is your opinion? So he said that يُخَذُ كُلُّ قَوْلٍ وَيُرَدُّ كُلُّ قَوْلٍ, that anybody's statement can be accepted and anybody's statement can be rejected. إِلَّا صَاحِبَ هَذَا الْقَبْرِ, except the man who is buried in that grave, referring to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So that a great scholar of his time, great mufti of his time, he said, don't ask my opinion. Who am I? And when I say that this is my opinion, then this is my opinion. But my opinion is as good as can be accepted or can be rejected. But if you see somebody, if you see that person, and if you get his opinion, then there is no room for accepting anybody else's opinion. So this is what Quran says, this is what Ahadith says, and also the Hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, which also makes it very clear. And she said in Sahih Muslim that Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa rad. Anybody who is introducing something in the name of Islam, in the name of religion, okay, these are the words of Hadith. That Rasulullah is saying anybody who introduces something in the name of Islam, whether it is muraqaba, muhasaba, or this or that, or this method or that method, Rasulullah is saying that anybody who introduces anything in our religion, then it has to be accepted only if it is that related through me, or something that I have done or I have taught you, or it is found in the Quran or in the Hadith. فَهُوَ رَدْ means if it is not Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu, if it is not from Quran and Hadith, and not from my teaching, not from the teaching of the Quran, then فَهُوَ رَدْ, it should be rejected. So it won't be accepted. So this is the Hadith of Rasulullah. And Rasulullah has said that Man amila amalan laysa alayhi amruna fahuwa rad. If somebody is doing an action, any action, Salah, Siyam, Hajj, Zakah, or celebration of Prophet's birthday, or anything that he says, and he ascribes it that as a religion. So Rasulullah has said that Man amila amalan laysa alayhi amruna. Any person who is doing an action, and that action is not proven from my teaching, then it is rejected. And how do we know that this action is from Quran and Sunnah? So Rasulullah has explained to us in 3 different ways. His teaching is in 3 different ways. The first teaching is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said things by his words, qawl. So this is one part of the hadith, or one type of hadith, where all the statements of Rasulullah sallam, qawlu Rasulullah sallam, this is called hadith qawli. And the second type is fi'lun, fi'lu Rasulullah sallam, Rasulullah sallam's action, the things which he has done, that also becomes the Sharia for us. His saying is Sharia, his action is also Sharia. Then the third is that during his lifetime, those Muslim Sahaba who came to Islam, and they were practicing something which Rasulullah did not stop them, and he approved that. So this is called taqreer. This is called taqreer, that Rasulullah has aqarra ala fi'li sahabi, that Rasulullah has accepted or approved or agreed with the action of the sahabi. So this is how you check your actions. If you are doing any action, man amila amalan, anybody who does an action which is laysa alayhi amruna, if it is not my qawl, if it is not my fi'l, and it is not done by Sahaba during the lifetime of Rasulullah, then that action should not be done in the form of religion, in the form of ibadah.